Now, before we dive into today's show, why don't you guys get down in the comments section and name a random Bulls player for me. Get weird with this. So no Derrick Rose, no Michael Jordan, no Scottie Pippen. I'll throw my random Bull out there. I'll go Andre Snowshioni. So if you guys can top that, get weird down in the comments section for me and name a random Bulls player. Could a Nikola Vucevic trade be on the horizon? What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and that's what we're going to be discussing on today's show, as NBA insider Marc Stein actually suggested that a Vuce trade could be on the horizon. And then on the later half of today's show, talking a little Josh Giddey, as he has been lighting it up for Team Australia in the Olympics. But let's check out what Marc Stein had to say on the Stein line, as he says, Vucevic should be far easier for Chicago to trade, given that he has just 2 seasons left on his contract at a total slightly above $41 million, and with proven big men harder to find. The early indications, though, suggest that a move involving the 33-year-old is more likely to materialize during the season than before it. So good point on Marc Stein talking about Vucevic's contract right here. You know, it's not a terrible deal. I think as Bulls fans, we view this as an awful deal just because, Vuce hasn't, been the most impactful player in terms of winning for this franchise over the last couple of years. But if you're a contender and you could get a solid guy who can average 18 and 10 on any given night, and he's only on the books for $20 million in 24 and $21.4 million in 25, like that would not be a hard contract to move in comparison, obviously, Zach LaVine, where that contract, is unmovable at this point. Now, I do think a Vuce trade would be a great ending to the offseason. Obviously, Stein reported that it's more likely to happen during the year than before it, but if the Bulls could somehow swing this trade in August, September, or even out early October, I mean, that would be the icing on the cake. Obviously, a Zach LaVine trade is still my dream, so we can just fully rip this Band-Aid off of this big three era of LaVine, DeRozan, and Vuce. But if you could somehow move the center at the deadline or before the season starts, it would be a great win for the Chicago Bulls. And, we'll talk about a guy in Jalen Smith who I think deserves more tick here in a little bit. But Stein also threw out some teams that could trade for Nikola Vucevic, saying Vucevic has been linked to the New York Knicks because of the team's lack of center depth since Isaiah Hartenstein left in free agency to join the Oklahoma City Thunder. On the other hand, the Atlanta Hawks could also consider swapping Clint Capella for Nikola Vucevic. Now, on the Clint Capella Nikola Vucevic swap front, I would absolutely love it. And I think my biggest gripe with Vuce is, obviously the way he plays offensively. I think he takes too many threes. I think he drifts on the perimeter too much, and obviously he is a terrible defender, one of the worst pick and roll big defenders in the NBA. I would much rather prefer an archetype like a Clint Capella, where he can be a lob threat for Josh Giddey, Kobe White, turning the corner on these pick and rolls, and then also be one of the best defensive bigs in the NBA. I mean, for the past 6 seasons, if you had to take a rim protector that has been more consistent than Capella, I don't really know who that is. So a Capella Vuce swap, sign me up. I would absolutely love it because Capella is one of those guys, specifically offensively, he can just be a connecting piece. He can just be that lob threat. You're not really running any plays for him, and I think that would also help the development of these younger guys on this team, where they wouldn't have to give Vuce his 14, 15 shots a game. Capella could play a whole game, shoot the ball 2 times, and he would be okay with it. But on the Knicks front, this is an interesting choice. I think the Knicks are definitely in the center market. I just don't know if the style of center they're looking for is Nikola Vucevic. I think offensively it makes a lot of sense. Vuce has a great push shot, which obviously Tom Thibodeau asks his centers to be excellent at, but also he plays 4-on-3 very well. What I mean by that, if the guard, take Jalen Brunson for example, they come set him a screen, they blitz him trying to get the ball out of his hands, he can drop that off to the center, and then he's playing 4-on-3 where he can either get to that mid-range push shot or he can kick out to to an open shooter. So I think the Knicks are an interesting fit offensively, but defensively, Tom Thibodeau asks his bigs to run a lot of drop coverage, protect the rim, and that just hasn't really been Vuce's MO. So the Knicks are an interesting choice. Maybe if they keep Mitchell Robinson, and that's kind of their yin-yang at the center position where it's like, hey, Vuce is for offense, Mitchell Robinson for defense, but I just don't know if the Knicks' interest there is too strong. But the biggest reason why I do want to move off Vuce is because the more I look at Jalen Smith, and I remember when this signing was made, I was a big fan of it, no doubt about it, or of the signing. But the thing I loved the most about it was the potential with Jalen Smith. And, I have been saying this countless times here on the channel is how do you develop, your younger players? The best way in the NBA is you give them opportunity. So I think Jalen Smith, in my opinion, needs to be getting 30-plus minutes a night. He is one of those guys where I think development for him is just going to come from reps. And, if you have Vooch on the roster, he's going to be playing at least 30 a night. Then you're going to have your other 18 minutes probably go to Jalen Smith, where last season he played 17 minutes with the Pacers, and we saw great production out of him. If he can just up that to 25, 30 minutes a game, be that stretch 5, be that stretch 4, and the Bulls could potentially run big lineups in the future, that would be absolutely fantastic. So, not really, too sure if the Bulls are going to be able to trade Vooch, but hey, man, if they're able to pull this trade off, I think it would be great. But I'll ask you guys this. Obviously, the two biggest names on the trade market right now are Zach LaVine and Vooch for the Bulls, but who do the Bulls need to trade more? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Type 8 for Zach LaVine and type 9 for Nikola Vucevic. Now, coming up next here on the program, I do want to talk about Josh Giddey, as he has been lighting it up at the Olympics so far. But before we dive into that, guys, I want to tell you about today's presenting sponsor, and that is my favorite sponsor, Game Time. If you guys are looking to buy a ticket to any event in the near future, download the Game Time app and use promo code CHATSPORTS on your first purchase only. Terms apply, first purchase only, and we'll hook you guys up with $20 off. Now, if you guys are looking to go check out a White Sox game, to go check out a Cubs game this summer, well, you are in luck, because Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch, with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. One of my favorite features of the app is the all-in prices, because every single time you're looking to buy a ticket to an event, they drill you with these fees right before you check out. That's not the case with Game Time. They show you the exact price you would be paying right there on the app, and they actually show you the view of your seat before you even buy the ticket, so you guys will get the best viewing experience possible. So take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Lowest price guaranteed. And yeah, link for that will be in the comments and description of today's show. So Josh Giddey early on today absolutely lit it up for Team Australia in a big-time game versus Team Canada. Now, Team Canada, they're led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They have Dylan Brooks. They got Lou Dort. They got Jamal Murray. So they have great guard and point-of-attack defenders. And Giddey lit it up. He had 19 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. He was 7 for 14 from the field. But more importantly, he was 3 of 7 from downtown, which is something you love to see from the front of Giddey, because we're talking development for him. It's going to come down to defense and knocking down open jumpers, who has been actually doing that so far during international play. And listen, Giddey is a great international player. Personally, as a Bulls fan and NBA fan in general, I love watching international basketball. It's more physical. They let these guys play a whole lot more. So just having a guy on the Bulls in Giddey who's going to kill it for Team Australia for probably the next 2 Olympics, it's just going to be fun to watch. But why I am a believer in Giddey? Number one point here, he has already proved himself. I think people sleep on a season before last where he was 20 years old, averaged 16, 7 and 5. He was fantastic, one of the best playmakers in the league, and he put up a decent, amount of production, in the scoring category. Averaging 16 a game is nothing to kind of sleep on as a young player in the league at 20 years old. He has done it, and plus I love his size. Being that 6'8" point guard, I think is huge, and plus Giddey's got a ton of potential. So that's number 2 for me, is his size, potential. Super strong, 6'8", or not super strong. He's gonna need to add more strength on if he wants to become that really physical style of guard, which I think is proven to be a winning archetype in the league over the past couple of years. But also this the change of scenery for him, I think is going to be key. He had the off the field or off the court drama this past season, and, he wasn't the best fit in Oklahoma City. He talked about it, saying, they got so many guys who are elite with the ball in their hand. Giddey, he just couldn't really fit in as an off-ball player in Oklahoma City, but with Chicago, you're anticipating that he's going to be the focal point of that offense in terms of generating open looks, and that's number 4. He's an elite playmaker, man. You watch him during the Olympics. You watch him during the preseason when that gets underway. He just creates open shots. He gets the defense in rotation. And that also leads me to my fifth point. Like, modern day basketball is all about getting the defense in rotation, knocking down open shots. Like, I actually feel like the game has became a whole lot more simple over the past couple of years. Beat guys off the dribble, knock down open threes, and be able to keep guys in front of you. Like, it's very, very simple how you succeed. Giddey is elite at that. So overall, I'm a Josh Giddey fan. I really think he's going to end up working out for the Bulls, and him just excelling at the international play, I think it should leave us all optimistic as Bulls fans. Let's show Josh Giddey some love on today's show. Type Giddey down below in the comments section, and plus, if you guys do so, I'll go show you some love down in the comments as well. Also, if you guys want to give me a follow on Twitter, that's the handle right there, @PatSieps. Give me a follow over there, and I'll give you guys a follow back. But thank you guys so much for watching today's show. See you guys next time. Go Bulls.